forward. Okay. So welcome. Feel free to use the chat anytime to ask me questions, but I will have space at the end of the session to specifically for you all to ask whatever questions are on your mind. Yeah, so welcome. This is Navigating Women's Resources on Campus at OSU. I am Madison Eagle. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the Intercultural Specialist for Women's Student Initiatives in the Student Life Multicultural Center. Yeah. So with any of our programs at the Multicultural Center, we always start with a land acknowledgement. So this is just a statement of I would like to acknowledge that the land that The Ohio State University occupies has long served as the site of meeting and exchange amongst Indigenous peoples, specifically the Shawnee, which is my own tribe, Miami, Wyandot, and Delaware nations. We honor and respect the diverse Indigenous peoples connected to this territory on which we virtually gather. So why do we do this? This is just a statement that we use in the Multicultural Center to acknowledge that the Indigenous people have been here for a long time, they continue to be here, and that colonization and colonialism is an ongoing process. It's not something that is part of the history. It's part of our history, but it's also part of our current state of being. So if you would like to learn more about land acknowledgements or look up where you are on the land and whose land you are on, you can use that website at the bottom, which is www.ispirg.org/knowtheland. Okay, so in this session, I'm going to go over a lot, so I might go a little fast. So if there's anything that you want more information about, please use the chat and just tell me like, hey, like, wait, what do you mean by that? All that stuff. So I'm going to go over just a brief overview of what I specifically do at the Multicultural Center, the different programs that I have, the student organizations that exist on campus, SARNCO and Title IX, the Office of Institutional Equity, the Women's Place, leadership initiatives for women of color, counseling and consultation, sorority and fraternity life, women, gender, and sexuality studies department, and then give you time to ask questions and show you how to stay engaged, learn more, all of that fun stuff. So a little bit about me. I am Cherokee and Shawnee. I identify as an Indigenous woman. I am very involved with the Native American community here in Columbus. I am a two-time graduate of Ohio State, so I got my undergrad here in 2014 in anthropology, and I got my master's degree here in social work in 2018. So I am a lifelong Buckeye. I definitely love OSU. I actually have a very special connection to the Multicultural Center in that I have met my very best friends there. I actually met my partner there. And so it's a very special place to me, and I'm very lucky to be able to work there now. Yeah. So a little bit about the Multicultural Center, hopefully, pending everything happening in the world, you all will be able to come and visit our space. So we are located on the first floor of the Ohio Union. Everyone is welcome. It's a safe and inclusive space. It's a brave space. It's a space that you can come and hang out. You can come and have your lunch and dinner. You can do homework. There's quiet space. There's lounge space just to hang out. There's space where you can reserve meetings and conference rooms. And this is pretty much our central hub for everything that happens in the Multicultural Center physically. A lot of what we're planning for the fall is going to be virtual, just for everyone's safety. But we really want everyone to know that the Multicultural Center is a space for everyone. It is a home away from home, and it is a place where you can come and figure out life, figure out what you're doing, find other people who are of the same mindset, or who are also in that space of curiosity and trying to figure things out, whether that's figuring out what you want to do with life, figuring out who you are, all that fun stuff. Yeah. So we promote a mission of an inclusive community. And what we mean by that is that we are celebratory of everyone's identities, and we acknowledge the multiple layers and layers of identity, but also layers of systemic oppression and social justice and all of that stuff, so we can engage in deeper dialogues, challenge barriers, and create communities of collaboration across identity. I personally think that like we are all better when we work together, when we acknowledge each other and celebrate each other. That's what moves us forward as a society. So different opportunities at the Multicultural Center. We center all of our programming on advocacy and visibility, education and empowerment, and support and belonging. So there are different intercultural specialists for basically every identity that you can think of. And we basically share programming, we collaborate in programming, and we try to make sure that every identity is represented and has a sense of belonging in the Multicultural Center. So we have LGBTQ intercultural specialists, we have Latinx intercultural specialists, we have a PITA, which is Asian Pacific Islander, Desi American intercultural specialist, African American intercultural specialist, Native and Indigenous intercultural specialist, myself, women's intercultural specialist, and then we also have a separate team that works specifically on social justice engagement and programming. So amongst all of those coworkers, we all work together very tightly to come up with events, to come up with panel discussions, concerts, various entertaining things, and also dialogues and lectures and film screenings and educational things as well. So for Women's Student Initiatives, it is myself and I have 2 student team members. For this upcoming year, that will be Mia Cariello and Erica Harper. They are awesome and very dedicated to supporting women on campus. So the different programs that we do, we celebrate Women's History Month, which takes place every March. We also assist with planning Sexual Assault Awareness Month in April, which we coordinate with the Student Life Wellness Center. We also do some programming for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is in October. And then in addition to that, in the fall, different programming that also happens. The undergraduate student government has been doing a #MeToo week every year in November, so we also help support that. Yeah. So the way the Multicultural Center is set up, we basically set aside one Heritage or Awareness Month for every identity, and all of us collaborate on different programs together for each of those months. So for September coming up, it will be Latinx Heritage Month, and all of us collaborate to create programs that highlight social justice issues, that highlight intersectional identities of Latinx peoples. And yeah, so we do that for every month. LGBTQ is October, November is Native American Heritage Month, January is APITA Heritage Month, February, United Black World Month or Black History Month, and then March is Women's History Month. So on top of all of that programming, I also have year-round cohorts that I run along with my student team members. So we have a women's coalition, which is basically just a space for all women to come and gather to help support each other, to talk about different programming ideas, talk about different issues on campus. It's primarily made up of student org leadership currently, but is open to all to come and basically collaborate and create a network of supportive women on campus. We also have the Women of Color Collective, which is a group specifically for women of color on campus to come and support each other in that same way, but more specifically speaking to the identity of women of color and the issues and various things that women of color specifically face on campus. And then we have the Women's Mentorship Program. This is an application-based program. It's primarily targeted towards upper class women students. It's very much focused on personal and professional development and career development. So trying to help with the transition out of undergrad and into either grad school or whatever the next step may be after undergrad. All of the cohorts that I run really focus on the 9 dimensions of wellness, which just holistic well-being, making sure that self-care is central to everyone succeeding. So we go over financial wellness and nutritional wellness, spiritual wellness, mental health, physical health, all of those things to try and create programs that really enhance the participants' experience in college at OSU. So there's often not a lot of space for that in your day-to-day lives. You're focused on school and trying to get internships, trying to work or do all of the things, and it's really overwhelming, and there's not a lot of space that really centers self-care. So I really try and make my programs that space that centers self-care and community care, where we are taking care of each other as well as taking care of ourselves. All right. So just a little bit more about Women's History Month. So it is primarily student planned. So students will come together to plan events to tell me what they want to see happen so we weren't able to have Women's History Month this past year, which was very upsetting, but we have put on some really great programs in the past. We were able to do a keynote event with Dolores Huerta, who, if you haven't heard of her, please look her up. She's amazing. She led the farm workers movement in California in the 70s and worked alongside Cesar Chavez. And we've had comedy nights, open mic nights, again with the dimensions of wellness. And we were also able to put on a free concert with Tangina Stone and Nitty Scott. That was in 2019. That was really cool. Big hit. If you haven't heard of those artists, I highly recommend looking them up. And then we do various panel discussions and dialogues on current events, current topics, pertinent, relevant issues that are happening today. Okay. This is just a little bit more about the Women's Coalition. But we meet the first and third Wednesday every month. So as of right now, those meetings will be virtual, so you are able to register for them. And I'll let you know at the end of this presentation how to stay up to date on all of our programs. Again, a little bit more about the Women of Color Collective. Those meetings are the second and fourth Wednesday every month. So basically any Wednesday every Wednesday is Women's Student Initiatives programming. Yeah. Mentorship program, first and third Wednesday. There is an application. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to apply. We promote resume and interview skills, building a support network, mentorship opportunities, and job shadowing opportunities for participants. Last year we had 17 participants, so I'm hoping that we will have some more this year, but it all depends on who applies. Okay. Other things that I offer, I am always available to schedule individual meetings to discuss academics, employment, just bounce ideas off of for programming or issues you're having interpersonally. I am a licensed social worker, and so I use a lot of my social work skills in this job in Women's Student Initiatives to support you, the students. I also help you get connected if you're looking for different resources on campus. I can point you in the right direction, or I know who to ask. And then also I am able to do presentations and discussions for student organizations or residence halls. I do ask for a little bit of advance in asks like that, but different topics that I am able to present on are women of color, feminism, intersectionality, and women supporting women. All right. So I just want to highlight one of the programs that we did in the past, which was a Women of Color networking event. This is in partnership with Ladies of Leadership, which is a student organization that supports mentorship for women of color on campus. We also did a program for Native American Heritage Month, which was highlighting and presenting on missing and murdered Indigenous women with Nicole Duran, who was the president of our Indigenous undergraduate student orgs this past year. Yeah. I mentioned the concert with Tangina Stone and Nitty Scott, very fun. And so student organizations, there are so many women-focused student organizations. If you are looking for women-centered spaces, student orgs, there's every topic you can think of, there's a student org for it that focuses on and supports women. So whether it's politics, identity-based, leadership and mentorship, everything under the sun. So you can go to go.osu.edu/women student orgs. I've created a link where you can look up the student orgs that are available. Yeah. And then I was just curious if you all have started getting involved or trying to look up any student orgs or departments on Instagram or Snapchat or any social media. So if you want to put that in the chat, I would love to hear if you're like starting to, at least virtually or on social media, see who's out there. Cool. Oh, awesome. A lot of the students that I work with in the Multicultural Center are part of MSB, so nice. We don't have a super robust social media presence, but we're trying to work on that. I definitely recommend looking up student org specifically Instagram. I think you get a lot of information from them. I think the best place to start is with the undergraduate student government. Just start following them and then see who they're following, and you know, just follow everybody that you're interested in. All right. So a few orgs that I wanted to highlight that I work with most closely are Take Back the Night, which is dedicated to raising awareness and empowering survivors of sexual and domestic violence. So they do a lot of work on campus, supporting survivors and helping them to uh, be empowered, to feel empowered, to have a sense of community. I had mentioned Ladies of Leadership, which is a mentorship and professional development org for women of color. So they pair you with a mentor who is in their third or fourth year of undergrad, and they do different programs like resume building, talking about issues that women of color specifically face in trying to find jobs and internships and those sorts of things. So they do a really great work. And then we also have Ignite, which is a political nonpartisan organization. So if you're looking to get involved, especially in the election coming up, this is a great space to do that. They really do great work trying to get people out to vote, to talk about different issues that affect women, and that sort of thing. So highly recommend all of them. So if you're looking for a place to start and following people on Instagram, all three of these organizations have a very active social media presence on Instagram especially. Okay. So SARNCO, which stands for the Sexual Assault Response Network of Central Ohio, is OSU's confidential support services for sexual misconduct and sexual assault on campus and off. They are part of Ohio Health, which is a local hospital network. And so we have a campus advocacy coordinators here on campus who are here to provide confidential support, keyword being confidential. So they are not officially part of OSU. So due to different federal regulations, many all of OSU staff and faculty are mandated reporters for sexual misconduct and sexual assault under what is called Title IX. So if you're looking for confidential support in regards to sexual misconduct or sexual assault, and it doesn't have to be anything that has happened at OSU, it could be virtual harassment, it could be something that happened in your past, they are always available to support you. And the campus advocacy coordinator for that is Emily Gamar, and her email is right there. And if you do want access to this PowerPoint, just send me an email after this presentation and I can send this to you. So like I mentioned, Title IX, that's like the federal regulations that focus on gender discrimination, discrimination in general, and sexual misconduct and sexual assault on a federal level, specifically for public colleges and universities. So our Title IX office is housed under the Office of Institutional Equity, which is a newer office, but they handle basically any kind of discrimination that you can think of, bias, all that. They have investigators and support available and resources available to help people navigate those incidents. So if you experience anything like that, I think that's a good thing to know, just in case anything is to happen. There is also STAR, which is the Ohio State Stress, Trauma, and Resilience Program. It's open to everyone. It's a public program through the OSU Wexner Medical Center. So it provides trauma-informed care to anyone seeking help from abuse, violence, disaster, a medical condition, grief and loss, all those things. It's very, very broad, but they provide support for anyone on campus and off campus as well. All right. So the Women's Place. A lot of people coming to Ohio State definitely look up stuff for women. Where do you go? And this is one of the first things that comes up. But I bring it up because they really focus on supporting staff and faculty at OSU. So it's not specifically a place or a space for students, but they do provide a lot of resources, and I work closely with them. Yeah, so I just want to bring them up, that they're not like a physical place for women to go. It's not a women's center, but it is a space for women, on primarily staff and faculty women. Leadership initiatives for women of color, otherwise known as LEWOC. So this is a program through the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. They provide leadership training, networking, and an annual retreat that they host for women students of color. And it is a great program that really supports women of color on campus, again, navigating those intersectional issues that women of color face on campus and off. And they do great work. Counseling and consultation. So we do have a counseling and consultation program at OSU with services available to all students. I believe you are able to get up to 10 free sessions with counseling and consultation. And they also do a great job of referring people outside of OSU if you're seeking more specific therapy or counseling. So I wanted to bring this up, that you are able to do that. There is a very long wait list. So if therapy is something that you're trying to seek when you come to OSU, I would definitely get on that right now. Give them a call and get on a wait list as soon as possible. And then they also have support groups geared specifically towards women. So there's Solidarity and Sisterhood, which is for women of color. You can contact Carla Eugene for more information about that group. And her email is eugene.5@osu.edu. And then there is SAFE, which helps women with interpersonal skills, dealing with personal conflict and how to deal with stress and coping and all of that stuff. And you can contact Kelsey Wagner, wagner.18@osu.edu. And then there's a lot more of support groups that are available. They are also waitlisted, I believe. So you want to contact those groups specifically to figure out if you are able to attend. And again, the sooner you do that, the better, because the wait lists do get very long. So inside scoop, definitely get on those wait lists as soon as possible. If you're interested in looking at more groups that Counseling and Consultation provides, go to ccs.osu.edu/groups. Okay. Sorority and fraternity life. So sorority and fraternity life, Greek organizations. I am not a expert in Greek life. I was never part of a sorority or fraternity, but I definitely bring it up in case anyone is interested. They have a very large presence on our campus, and they do a lot of great work in collaborating and programming, community service, academic support, all of that stuff. So if you're interested, just look up sorority and fraternity life on the OSU website. Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies. So there is a major and a minor available. This is an academic department. You can also take one of their classes just to fill in your general requirements. They provide a lot of great classes that cover those US history, GEs, and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a great place to, learn more about gender identity and sexuality through an intersectional lens. And yeah, so you can learn more on their website. Are any of you thinking about taking on women, gender, and sexuality studies as a major or minor? I think you both said. Yeah. Not sure. Well, it's definitely an option. Definitely take a look at it, and I highly recommend taking at least one of their classes. Pretty much any topic you can think of, they have available. And all their classes, at least on an introductory level, also provide sexual health training and workshops through a feminist lens. All right, so I have spewed a lot of information at you all, but in order to stay up to date on everything, definitely check out our calendar, which is on our website. It always has our most up-to-date events. So that's mcc.osu.edu. And you can also sign up for our newsletter, or you can sign up for any and all of our newsletters. So each of our multicultural center identity departments have our own separate newsletters that we put out on a bi-weekly basis. You're also able to submit events that you would like to advertise and just stay up to date on different things happening both in our programming and in general for women on campus. So that is available, that sign up is available on our newsletter, mcc.osu.edu/newsletters. And yeah, now is the time for questions. I always feel like I go really fast through this slideshow, so please let me know if you want me to go back to a specific slide or if you have any specific questions. So for my mentorship program, the mentors are community-based, so they are professional women in the Columbus area. So they, I try and pair all the student participants with someone who is in their area of study. So I had a lot of people who were interested in public policy, and I connected them with people in the community that did work with the Women's Public Policy Network. I had other people who were interested in being lawyers. I connected them with lawyers that would be specific to the area that they would like to focus on. So it's very much catered to whatever you are hoping to do in a professional career, or if you're just looking to explore different areas of study, different careers that you might be interested in. We can also set up job shadowing opportunities so you can have the opportunity to see if that career path is right for you. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I do want to let you all know about our Welcome Week event. So we have a Women's Welcome Week event happening. So it will most likely, it will not be a dinner. It will probably be a virtual gathering and speed friending with different student orgs and departments, many of which I mentioned here. So sorry for the flyer that's incorrect, but it will still be on August 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. And you can look up how to register for that on our MCC calendar. And then definitely follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you so choose. And my information, you can contact me at eagle, eagle.41@osu.edu. And if you have any questions or want to talk about anything in preparation for the fall semester or just in general, if you'd like to get involved with anything, please reach out to me. I would love to talk with you and support you in any way that I can. Okay. So if you think of anything else that you have questions about, please shoot me an email. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for participating in our workshop. So I am going to close out this session, and thank you again. please reach out if you need anything. All right.